Hi guys. So I know if there is a topic that is giving you a headache when it comes to business studies paper one, it's total quality management. But don't worry, I've got you. In this video, we're going to look at the TQM elements, we're going to look at quality cycles, and we're going to look at the PDCA model. I'm the general and this is the masterclass. Okay guys, so if you're a follower of this channel, you know that we have already done a video on the first part of TQM where we dealt with the quality concepts as well as quality indicators. If you haven't watched that video, I'm just going to pin it up for you right here so that you can be able to follow up on it and catch up with us. But today we are looking at the following. Elaborate on the meaning of TQM. Describe the following TQM elements from given scenarios. And we know the 5 TQM elements. I'm not going to go through them now. Explain the impact of the above stated TQM elements. Then also explain how businesses can use the PDCA model. Then we also look at explain the role or importance of quality cycles as part of continuous improvement to processes and systems. Then discuss the impact of TQM if poorly implemented by businesses. Now, we have already defined TQM as the integrated system that ensures that everything a business does is aligned to producing good quality products, resulting in improved customer satisfaction. Now, this total quality management has got 5 pillars, which we call the TQM elements. Now, two things to note about that is in an exam situation, number one, you are not going to be asked to define the TQM element. Rather, you are going to be asked to discuss the impact, meaning the advantages and the disadvantages of each TQM element. Number two, this question is going to always be addressed to its impact on large businesses. So the question will always say, discuss the impact of so and so element on large businesses. So your answer must be on the assumption that this is a large business. Let's go into them one by one. Number one, impact of continuous improvement of processes and systems on large businesses. Positive. Have more resources to check on quality performance. Enough capital for new equipment needed for processes and systems. Use quality cycles to stay ahead of competitors. We are saying in terms of improving, continuously improving the products and processes of the business, a large business has an advantage because it is able to have more resources to monitor quality performance. It is able to buy the necessary equipment that is needed in order to produce better products. They also have quality cycles, which is a group of employees which sit regularly to meet and discuss about quality related matters. Now, this is not immediately possible in a small business where there is competition for resources. Number two, negatives. Large scale manufacturing can complicate quality control. There is risk of changing parts of the business that are working well. In the streets, they say, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Sometimes in a bid to continuously improve products and processes, we may change some things that may have been working. We may recycle some of the employees, shuffle them where they were already working well. Where there would have been no need to do this, we might end up doing it because we are seeking to constantly be doing something to improve our product. Impact of continuous skills development or education and training on large businesses. Positives. Ability to afford specialized or skilled employees. And number two, may be able to hire qualified trainers to train employees on a regular basis. So we are saying not only should there be continuous improvement to processes and systems, but we are saying there must also be continuous skills development. The employees of the business must continually be skilled. Now, what are the advantages of a large business when it comes to this? Number one, they are already able, because of more resources, to attract highly skilled or highly trained employees who may not need much training, and they already contribute to quality. Then also, despite having these highly trained employees, they are also able to bring in training for them, to bring in skilled experts to conduct training in the workplace to make sure that the business continually brings out quality product on an improving basis. Negatives. Trained employees may leave for better jobs after they gained more skills. Demotivates employees if they do not receive recognition. So these are some of the disadvantages. Imagine you have trained your employees, you send them around the world to go and get this and that training. But remember, you don't own that employee forever. They may walk out any day. They may tell you, I'm serving my notice and I am leaving. And as they leave, they are leaving with all the investment that you put into them. Then secondly, in the administration of this training, some employees may feel that they are not being given the necessary recognition. Maybe they're not being chosen for lucrative opportunities for training, and in the process, they may be demotivated. Number three, impact of monitoring and evaluation of quality processes on large businesses. What are the positives? May be equipped to get things done right the first time, improves performance and maintains high quality standards, modify interventions that may improve the efficient use of resources. So monitoring and evaluation, guys, which is done mostly in large businesses, is actually about making sure that things are done the way they are supposed to be done. So large businesses that are able to employ people in a department that is based on monitoring. They focus on ensuring that every department is doing what it is supposed to do. So the business is able to get things right the first time. Why? Because there is constant monitoring to ensure that there is no deviation from the goals of the business. Negatives. It often takes longer to detect problems or respond to weaknesses. It is not viable to check quality of all the products. So the challenge here when it comes to monitoring in a large business, sometimes it takes long to detect problems because the business is just too large. It's not easy to see every little thing that is happening. Then number two, the other issue is that even though you are monitoring and checking the quality, it is not possible to check every single product. So you may be doing random sampling and you hope that from that random sampling, you have ensured that there is good quality, but there may be some leaks here and there. Some of the products that are of bad quality may slip through your hands within that process. Impact of total client or customer satisfaction on large businesses. Positives. Continuously promote a positive company image, may be able to gain access to the global market, may lead to increased competitiveness. Total client satisfaction is one of the pillars of the business. If a business is not able to satisfy its customers fully, then these customers may leave and go and buy the product elsewhere. So what we are saying here is in a large business, when we focus on total client satisfaction, it opens up new doors. Number one, we are able to become more competitive within our industry. In other words, we are able to take customers away from other businesses to come and patronize our business. But not only that, it may also lead to doors to the global market. We may expand our business beyond our horizons and we are able to leverage on technology, on online e-commerce, and be able to sell our products overseas because we have a good image among customers, so we are able to easily expand our business. What are the negatives? Some employees seldom encounter customers, and not all employees may be committed to total client satisfaction. So the issue here is even though we may be training everybody, gearing everybody up to make sure that there is total client satisfaction, some employees just don't meet with customers and we are investing in them, but they don't even relate with customers in any capacity. Then number two, we also have another group. We always have some bad apples within every organization. And these ones, they are not committed to total client satisfaction. In as much as other workers are pulling their weight, these ones will be pulling the efforts down, and this gives the business a bad image in the public. Hi guys, sorry to disturb your video. I'm just here to discuss with you 3 ways in which you can support the channel. Number 1 is to watch the ads. So guys, the ads that come before the video, during the video, and after the video are linked to this particular video that you are watching. If you don't skip the ads and you actually watch, we're going to be rewarded by the advertisers. Then number 2 is to invite me as a guest speaker to your event at your school, a school function, prize giving day, revision classes, and so on. I'll gladly come. Number 3 3, we've got the Masterclass Level Up program, which is designed for all those who want to write their exams in May and June of 2025. We are covering 3 subjects: accounting, business studies, and economics. All the information you need is in the description box below. Now let's get back to the video. Impact of adequate financing and capacity on large businesses. Positives: they have sufficient financing to test everything before implementing, can afford product researchers to gather information, can afford to purchase quality raw materials and equipment. Here we are saying inadequate financing and capacity. We are saying large businesses are able to invest into the process such that, number one, they get very good quality raw materials. The higher the quality, the more expensive they are. But in terms of our business, money is no issue because it's a large business and it has capacity, financial capacity to get those raw materials. Number two, they are able to also get product researchers who are going to come and try this and that and that and that until we find out how to make our product the best way it can. And also, they can afford to make mistakes because they are able to test everything before it goes out to the market. So they test it. If it doesn't work, they drop it. And if it works, then they send it to them. What are the negatives? When demand for product increases and orders come in faster than expected, lack of finance can hamper supply. Rapidly growing companies consume large amounts of capital. So basically here we're talking about the competition for resources within the company. In as much as we are committed to quality and investing our financial resources in quality, sometimes as the business is growing, there are competing priorities and the money to invest into this may not be readily available. Now let's look at the impact of TQM if it's poorly implemented by businesses. Number one, employees may not be adequately trained, resulting in poor quality products, decline in productivity because of work stoppages. The reputation of the business may suffer because of faulty goods. So we are saying this process is only good if it's done right. If it's poorly implemented, it can actually backfire because now we may suffer a bad reputation from too much returns. When people are returning to our business faulty goods, it doesn't do well for our public image. And there's also the issue of employees not being properly trained because for it to work, they have to be properly trained. So if they're not properly trained, in as much as we put in effort, the productivity is going to be low. It's not going to be where we want it to be. There are going to be some work stoppages because the equipment is not serviced and so on. And all of this will backfire on the business if TQM is poorly implemented. Let's look at ways in which TQM can reduce the cost of quality. If it's done right, guys, number one, introduce quality circles of 5 to 10 employees who meet regularly. Now, what are these quality circles? This is a group of employees that meet regularly to discuss quality-related matters. So they will critique what the business is doing. They will comment on the processes of the business, on the products of the business, and give positive, constructive feedback. These are the things that the business will be able to work on, and this is going to reduce the cost on the side of the business. Schedule activities to eliminate duplication of tasks. Especially in a large business, you'll find that things can be done in a haphazard manner because of the size of the business. But if there are some of these employees here that are scheduling the tasks, it will help to ensure that there is no duplication of tasks because everybody is assigned their own task and everybody is pulling their weight. Work closely with suppliers to improve the quality of raw materials. So even though we may try to put in systems for quality, if we are getting raw materials, it will be very difficult or it will be more difficult for us to actually produce a quality product. So the best way is to work with suppliers to ensure that we are getting the best quality of raw materials possible. Let's move on to the PDCA model. What is PDCA? Plan, do, check, and act. Now, in an exam situation, you may not necessarily be asked to say, define the steps of the PDCA model, but you will be asked to apply them. So in terms of applying them, it means either you are seeing them in a scenario, you see a statement in a scenario, and you identify that this statement is referring to plan. Or you may be given the question for you to do the application yourself, so you have to give the statement yourself. Let's look at the application starting with number one, plan. To plan means to identify the problem, and to plan the method and approach. So this is the first stage of fixing any problem. It is to identify the problem and see how best we are going to go around. Number two, do. Do means implement the change on a small scale, then implement the processes and systems. So when we are doing, it means we are implementing, we are putting into practice. However, it is wiser to implement on a small scale first to see this thing that we planned, how practical is it? Is it practicable? Can we start with a small sample, start maybe with one department or with one product and see how it goes, and from there we'll be able to scale up at a later stage. Number three, check or analyze. Use data to analyze the results of the change, determine whether it made a difference. So we have planned something, we identified the problem, and we planned an approach. Number two, we implemented it on a smaller scale. Now we have to check and analyze to see, has this actually made any difference, or did we waste our resources and time? If it is good, then it will allow us to go to the next stage, which is number four, act as needed. When we're acting as needed, we institutionalize the improvement and we continuously revise the process. So what are we doing? We are now institutionalizing and making it a part of the institution, a part of the way we do things in the business. We are now implementing the change on a wider scale. This is now acting according to what we discovered when we analyze. Now we move on to the role or importance of quality circles. Number one, investigate problems and suggest solutions to management. So the quality circles is their job to meet regularly, find out problems quickly, and report them to management before things get worse. So in other words, quality circles, they prevent problems or big problems from coming into the business because problems are detected early by this team and reported to management. Number two, ensures that there is no duplication of tasks in the workplace. We already mentioned this, that through scheduling, we assign a person to each task and we also assign the time. That means everybody knows exactly what they are doing when, and no two people are doing the same job. So it is quality circles that observe this duplication of tasks, and through scheduling, they are able to eliminate. Number three, reduce cost of redundancy in the long run. What is redundancy? Redundancy is waste. These are workers that are not working to their fullest, machinery that is not working to its fullest, systems that are underperforming. So if there is any of that, it means there is redundancy. And who best to check this out than the employees themselves? So the quality circles, who are these employees, sit down and point out wherever there is redundancy, and it is addressed immediately to ensure that the quality of the business is constantly improving. Thank you for watching this video today. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already and help us to reach our target of 10,000 subscribers by the beginning of May. I'll see you next time. God bless you.